Hi, my name is Roy Michael. I have been working for the last year or so to try and stop the massive warehouse complex that's being built next to the lakes at Hemet West. Let's start with some good news. This was the other day's newspaper, right here. The large warehouse project, actually twice as large as the ones they're talking about building next to us, to be built on no longer needed land from March Air Force Base, has been tabled. What that means is, of the council that has to vote on whether it gets built or not, a majority of the council has to vote for it. Well, they didn't vote for it this time. I don't think they're going to vote for it next time. Now, the people that were fighting this were in the same boat that we are. They are residential. They live there. They have nice, safe, quiet neighborhoods. And they were going to build this massive project. Now, the difference between their project and ours, their houses are 1,000 feet away from the nearest warehouse where it was going to be. Ours are 147 feet. Their demographics of their population is about 30% seniors, maybe a little bit less. The population at the lakes in Hemet West is 99% plus. And I think that's a big, big issue for us to be able to stress. This last one got kicked off. There was one up in Beaumont a couple years ago that got kicked off. And now we're trying to do the same thing. So what I'd like to do is update you on things that have happened over the last week. Now, last Thursday at 2 o'clock, 4 hours before the Hemet meeting at the public library down on East Latham at State, I gave a talk, and I want to read to you what I said there because, obviously not everybody was able to attend, okay? The initial finding of the environmental study by the consultants stated that there were 67 significant environmental issues that were very detrimental to the environment. They include air quality, biological resources, cultural resources, energy, geology and soils, greenhouse gas emissions, hazards and hazardous material, hydrology and water quality, land use and planning, noise, population and housing, public services, transportation, tribal cultural resources, utilities, and service systems. Tribal cultural resources, I've already contacted the Saboba Indian Nation, and they're very interested in what is going on here. They want to see to make sure that there are no Native American artifacts that are disturbed, or, God forbid, Native American graves. Because remember, they were here for about 10,000 years, okay? 67 significant negative effects. Most of those named had more than one. Some had 3 or 4. 67 negative issues stated by the consultant. And they're considering building this? A quote from Jeff Horseman, a reporter for the Press Enterprise in last Monday's paper, said, "There is no reason to put warehouses on every square foot of land in the county or riverside when joblessness is going down and warehouse vacancy rates are going up. It makes no sense, especially when it is destroying and disrupting neighborhoods. The constant noise, soil interruption, and diesel exhaust will have a very negative effect on many infirmed residents. The construction phase will take almost 1.5 years. Construction phase is going to be the loudest. Accepted decibel levels allowed by Hemet Ordinance Section 53-4 allows a maximum of 65 decibels from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 55 decibels from 10 p.m. through 7 a.m. Remember, this is going to be a 24-hour facility. This is set, the backup alarm on the trailer tractors, tractor trailers, forklifts, and dump trucks, beep, 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 is required to be a minimum of 87 decibels. 65 decibels in the daytime, over that is illegal. At nighttime, it's over 55 decibels. It's illegal. Keep in mind they have stated 210 parking spaces for tractor trailers. The average tractor trailer carries about 40 pallets, making forklift backup alarms a constant source of noise above the legal limits beep, beep, beep. This can cause serious changes to sleep patterns. According to the National Institute of Health, disrupting sleep patterns in elderly people can be the cause of significant sleep medical disturbances. Nocturnal noise also causes measurable biological changes in the form of stress response and can cause decreased well-being and cognitive performance, among other issues. Now, elders like us, we don't always sleep at night. My wife is a stroke survivor. It's very hard for her to go to sleep. Last night, when I woke up at about 4:30, she was still awake, laying in bed, trying to go to sleep. So it's not just nighttime, it's daytime too. Plus, we have people in this project, in Lakes at Hemet West, who work at night, work a night shift. Some of them still work here. Fortunately, I'm still retired. The noise. Diesel engines produce nitrogen oxide. According to Mount Sinai Hospital, one of the leading hospitals in the country, they can damage lung tissue, lower the body's resistance to respiratory infection, and worsen chronic lung diseases such as COPD, asthma, dyspepsia, pneumonia, emphysema, pleurisy, mesothelioma, that many of our residents already suffer from. A couple of those I suffer from. We cannot subject our residents to this type of airborne poison and continuous higher than allowed incessant noise 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This project will also be moving over 250,000 square yards of soil on the property, taking approximately 3 to 5 months, with over 12,000 dump truck trips and hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of heavy construction equipment loading the dump trucks. These are all diesel, by the way. These dump trucks and tractor trailers will be overpowering the traffic in the area and further clogging Florida Avenue and connected roads. Now let's look at this. Our roads are already bad enough. The Lakes at Hemet West has one way to get in and one way to get out, and that's getting out to Florida Avenue. In the case of an emergency where we have to evacuate, there's only one way to go. You turn right on Florida Avenue, that takes you downtown. That ain't getting you anywhere. Now, just east of us is Acacia Avenue. That's part of the evacuation plan. If Acacia Avenue is flooded with 210 semis trying to get out, where are we going to go? The only way to go is to go left and go west on Florida Avenue, and that is not acceptable. That will not work. A lot of the soil will have unknown contaminants in it that'll be released into the air. Keep in mind, this was farming property for many generations back when DDT and other currently outlawed chemicals were used extensively that can also cause or exacerbate our lung conditions. This area is also known for sinkholes. My neighbor, 2 or 3 doors up, was having a problem with her driveway. It was sinking in. The Lakes at Hemet West had to come in and completely redo her driveway and fill all that in. Wonder how many of those sinkholes are out in that field. You put some of these millions of pounds of concrete warehouses out there, they may not last long. California Penal Code 368C states, abuse of elders and dependent adults willfully cause or permit an elder or dependent adult to suffer or inflict unjustifiable physical pain or mental suffering upon the elder or dependent adult. Physical suffering from the noise, sleep deprivation. Or willfully cause or permit the elder dependent adult to be placed in a situation that endangers his or her health. Contaminants in the air from diesel or DDT or God knows what chemicals are buried down in that soil that's going to get tossed up into the air as they dump it in the back of dump trucks. Flouting these laws are excellent grounds for a class action lawsuit from all 900 plus residents of the Lakes at Hemet West. I think it's actually over 1,000. That's what I heard the other day. The developer, the tenants, and any city officials that sign off on the project can also be held liable. There are many other suitable and cheaper properties that are available and closer to Route 215 and 210. I drove down here from the bridge at 210 the other day. It's 13.4 miles of traffic that's already bad. You've been up through Lamb Canyon early in the morning. You don't go that fast. There's a lot of people going up there. Can you imagine adding a couple of hundred semis every week? What's it going to do to that? We already have our over 340 signatures on a petition from our residents that oppose this project. Remember the game from Sesame Street? What doesn't belong? This doesn't belong. Now, Thursday at 6 o'clock, last Thursday at 6 o'clock, we attended the meeting that City of Hemet had put up for us to come. It was called a scope meeting. We had 75 plus residents show up. That was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Now, the meeting was held by a company called EPD Solutions, Inc. The meeting was run by Connie Dobreva, and she is the Vice President of Environmental Planning for this consultant group. Now, their job is to go through all 67 significant possibilities of problems, and there were also quite a large number of less than significant. That's probably well over 100 issues that they've got to look at. Now, her job as an environmental engineer is to verify what the costs are going to be in regards to the amount of noise to our health, the amount of chemicals and dirt in the air to our health, all the things that are in there. I went through that list with you. I mean, energy, emissions, hydrology. Hydrology, that is a 66-acre field. I've lived right next to it for 8 years. Let me tell you from experience, it's all clay and it's very deep because I had to get my Jeep towed out of there one day because one of my cats had gone over or under the fence. And as I looked out, I saw a coyote way off in the distance. Well, I jumped in my Jeep. I went flying out to Florida, down Acacia, turned in down that dirt road they have that runs right along the solar panels. And as I turned right when I got to the airport, all of a sudden, my Jeep started sinking. Now, seeing me, the coyote ran away, and I ended up walking over through that muck and got my cat over, and then had to call a tow truck to come get my Jeep out. That was so much fun. My wife thought that was hilarious. Anyway, that soil is going to be a mess. They got to carry all that out. Now, underneath that soil is sand. You can't build on sand. You can't build a warehouse on top of clay to get down to maybe not bedrock, but at least harder soil. Now, one of the big problems is they're going to have to get all that out of there. Can you imagine what the traffic is going to be like? So anyway, during the meeting, I want to commend Connie Dobreva. She was very, very professional, answered all of our questions. The meeting was supposed to be from 6 to 7. She extended it to 7:30 just to answer questions. And then when she called the meeting, she also stated, anyone else has any individual questions, I'll be right here at the podium. Come on up and ask. I commend her for that. The number of issues that they have with that, again, I can't understand why they're still considering it. The next step is I'm in the process of writing a letter that has to be in by the 12th of July, explaining all the issues that we have here. So far, the letter is about 8 pages long. Of course, it's in big type, so I can read it, and then I'll redo it in a less big font. Less big, yeah, my grammar. Anyway, so I just want to keep you updated on this. We're working hard on this. If you have not signed the petition, I will be at the clubhouse for the next few weeks from 5 to 7 weekdays, noon to 2 on weekends. If your neighbors haven't signed this, talk to them, get them in to sign this. It's going to affect them. It's going to drop their property values. It's going to make some of these houses unlivable. When I started this petition last year, I put out a note that, if you're infirmed, you can't leave the house, send me your house number, send me what time you want to come by, and I'll bring the petition to you. I was so surprised by the number of people here that really can't leave their house. Do you want to be in a situation, or do you want your neighbors to be in that situation where they can't leave their house and they're bombarded by this noise and this dirt? And let's not mention the rats that gather at warehouses. The company that is going to be operating the main warehouse is called Loctech, excuse me. They make electric desks, those stand-up desks. They're manufactured in China. They ship them over in boats. What do boats have? Rats, because wharf rats are very common. The rats get in. All this stuff is usually shipped in pallets with cardboard boxes on top. Rats love cardboard boxes. They eat the glue. They also go in there and they build nests and they spawn, because rats, you got one rat, you got a million coming. Then they load the pallets onto the trucks, either at Long Beach or LA, the port in LA. And I talked to a guy that I met last year who worked in warehouses for many years. And he says, you'd be surprised how often when they open up the back of the tractor trailers, a bunch of rats come jumping out. This is the kind of stuff we're looking at if this thing gets built. We have to stop this. Now, I'm doing this on YouTube for a reason, so it's so much easier for you to send it to other people. Now, YouTube has an algorithm. That's my cat crying. He gets very bored sometimes. On YouTube, so you can email this to your friends to let them know what's going on here, so they can at least get involved by signing the petition. YouTube has an algorithm that determines how often this gets seen. If you like and subscribe this video after you've finished with it, it'll show right on the bottom, like and subscribe. Please do that. That gets the algorithm moving so that it's accessible to more people. More people will see this, and that's what we want. I'm trying to spread this information as best I can. I'm going to try and do a video like this once a week as we get through this immense process. There's a whole lot more meetings coming up, and when Connie's report comes out, she said it's going to be about this thick. So we're going to read through that, and we're going to find what she says is good, what she finds that she says is bad, and we're going to work on those and key in on those factors. Okay? So thank you for listening, Roy Michael, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.